Hi, and welcome back to LDF-Designs. In today's video, I'm going to be working on this 6x6 panel. It's an encaustic board panel that I have prepared with some collage papers and some drywall compound and a little bit of India ink. I am experimenting with some different camera shots in this video, so you may notice that as you watch along. I went ahead and prepared this with a couple of layers of just clear encaustic, just to kind of seal up all of that other plaster and whatnot. And at this point that has cooled a little bit, and I am using one of those little round sponges to make some circles, just dipping that into the wax and applying it onto the board. I'm basically using three different encaustics, a clear encaustic, a white encaustic, and then I have a cerulean gray, which I believe is an RNF product, is the one that I have. So I'm applying those with some all-natural fan brushes. The fan brush is nice because you can put it on in a smaller amount. Once I had those initial layers on there, I went ahead and took some of my tools and started making some marks onto the panel. I did a little bit of some writing into the section of the cerulean gray, and now I'm just putting some marks into the circles. I did go ahead and pull out my small container of tar that I have, and I'm using some vegetable oil, which kind of reconstitutes that tar. The tar color is a little bit drier because it just kind of sits out in the open. I do have a sealed container of it. Every so often I will go ahead and get out a little bit more, but as you can see, it really doesn't take a whole lot to grunge up the surface and fill in all of the marks that I made. I used the vegetable oil and a paper towel to remove the excess tar. Once I have the excess tar removed, I do go ahead and complete a light fuse just to set all of those marks in there. When I was applying my inks, I did have a stencil that I used that I sprayed the inks over, and that is how I have some of the pattern. That pattern that you see is actually on the surface of the initial board. At this point, I did go ahead and add some cheesecloth to the surface, kind of put it in a random position, and now I am just applying some additional encaustic over the top of that, and of course creating some marks to blend this into the piece. As with each step that I take, once I get it to the stage that I need it to be, then I always go ahead and do a light fuse over that surface to fuse that onto the surface of the piece. At this point, I felt like it needed a little white added back onto the composition, so I'm doing something that's called accretion. You take a brush that has a slightly cooled wax on it, and you can drag that over the surface lightly, and it'll leave some sections catching the the rough spots of your surface, and then as you continue to put more and more wax on there, it will build up that texture. And I feel like it's a nice way to get often an organic textured look, which I really like on this piece in contrast to the area where I used the stencil. I was adding some extra wax here just to try to help bring the composition together a little bit and kind of tie those two circles together. I did end up, once I completed this, I think I did add a few areas of detail to it off camera, but you can see the pictures of the close-ups of this piece over on my Instagram page and see all of the different things that I added to it. At this point, I went ahead and pulled out some Dr. P.H. Martin's iridescent, I think is a gold ink of some sort, but sometimes I like to just apply it a little bit to one of these makeup sponges and layer it onto my piece. It just brings a really nice, rich tone to the piece. If you enjoy watching my videos, I really highly recommend that you hit the subscribe button if you have not done so already. Also, feel free to leave me a like and a comment. I do love hearing from you. Again, if you'd like to see other pictures of this piece, you can hop over to my Instagram page. Thank you for watching.